Hey, everybody. We are pre-recording this because we had a little bit of a scheduling conflict today. But anyways, we wanted to get this to you regardless. So we're obviously in a weird market. Title companies are down. Lenders are down. Real estate's down. We've got interest rates that are bouncing around.
Rates just went up to what, 6.7.
So rates just popped up again. And so we're all feeling it. We're all seeing it. We're all going to be experiencing just a new and shifting market.
So we don't want to spend any time. We don't want to give any time to things that we can't change, right?
Right.
To spend time talking about things we can't change is foolishness, right?
Right.
So anyway, part of our thinking here was, how do we simplify this conversation? And it's like, what are things that you can do right now to grow with or without a recession facing us? And so I have come across numerous articles that are online, and they all seem to be talking about the same thing. And there's three biggies, and then Paul's got a bonus. The first one is increasing your skills. And, you think about, well, what does that mean? Well, how about understanding the market? How about knowing your stats? How about the ability to, there's certain objections that are going to come up that might stump you in a sitting one-on-one with a couple at their home, and they go, well, what about this? Or what about that agent who said this or offered that? And if you don't know how to answer that, then you could miss that golden moment right there to just have easily answered it and kept moving and got to the point of getting the listing signed or getting the buyer agency in place. But you have to increase your skills.
Well, and the evidence of that, right, is like you have 3 realtors going into a listing appointment, only one's coming out with the listing.
Or you have 15 offers.
Yeah, or you got 15 hours, and only one person's going to get accepted here, right?
Right. And so only one person's going to get paid. And the question is that person going to be you? Or is it going to be just one more of those things on the list of like, well, I had a chance, but I didn't get it. And what so many people do, instead of increasing their skills, they become excellent blamers. And that other agent did this, or the other agent did that, or so-and-so did this, and it's like
the seller was a crook and the seller was a jerk. And
you cannot grow and you won't get paid to go down that road again. And so we have to focus on increasing your skills. And, one of the things that I want to work on for myself and Paul is I want to shorten up these meetings, because I understand that people's attention span is somewhere in the 8 to 10 minute range.
So let's
doing these meetings for 30 minutes. So I want to try to shorten this up today, Paul.
Let's do it. Let's keep rolling.
Was just increasing your knowledge. Well, do you read? Do you listen to podcasts? Do you go to TED Talks? I mean, what are you doing to increase your knowledge?
What are you putting in your cup, right?
So I sit here and I think about, there are so many books out there in the real estate world, but there's also books about, leadership and the skills of sales. And, I think a lot of us over the years have said, I'm not really a salesperson. And yet, it's hard to escape the fact that we are in sales. And, but it is definitely a lot more sophisticated than it was, 30 years ago. And so you have to increase your knowledge. And so I sit here and I think of, let me say the last thing, and then I'll circle back. And the third thing is you have to invest in you. And I'm talking about real dollars. How are you going to invest in growing your business in 2023? And so I would make this case to you that for $1,500, I believe that you could create a $200,000 a year income. It's 3 simple things, $1,500. And what they would be, I would encourage you to get involved with Ninja the next time we bring it to town. It's $800. It's a 4-day event. It's one of the most powerful things I've ever seen or witnessed. There's other people that you could go listen to, whether it's a Tom Ferry, a Brian Buffini, but doggone it, do something. Improve yourself, increase your skills, increase your knowledge, and then decide to read 5 business books this year. And then also, you should be a part of at least a couple of industry type newsletters. And as an example, I'm going to give you a couple here. Inman News. I think it's about $300 a year, maybe. Articles every day, multiple articles on what agents are doing around the country in every aspect of your business. Every one of you should be starting your day out looking at Inman News articles every day. The second thing you do is there's a really cool thing out there called Keeping Current Matters, KCM, I believe it is. And I remember doing this when I was an agent 20 years ago. And it provides a very interesting look at the industry and what's currently going on. And it gives you something to send out to your clients to stay in touch. Paul, you talk about the bonus thing here that we wanted to mention today, and that is.
Yeah. So what I wanted to say first before I get there is, I'll just go right to the bonus. The bonus thing is you have to talk to people. You have to take these things. You have to take your skills, your knowledge, and your investment, and you have to apply it. And I think that's one of the things where a lot of us struggle with how do we apply this? How do we start communicating this to our clients? We're always looking for this, the easy out, right? I want to get an automatic newsletter. I want to get automatic market updates. I want everything to be automated for me, which means you pull all of your actual communication with your client off the table and you're just dropping some kind of generic pre-built thing for your clients. Sure, that's, going to show up in their inbox once a month or whatever, but you're not really continuing the relationship. You're not really building the relationship. You're not actually staying connected to that person. The stats from NAR on one of their studies, I think about 2 years ago, before COVID, they showed that 80% of people would work with their realtor again for a second time or third time. But the data proved that only 27% of people did work with their realtor for a second time. And the same article, it said that agents on average, about 30% of people communicate with their past clients ever again. So that leaves 70% of the real estate community closes a transaction with their client, never talks to them again, ever. And I think there's a pretty clear correlation with our failure at communicating with our past clients and them leaving to go work with other people. And I think the next mistake that we make, what?
Don't lose your thought.
Okay.
Don't lose your thought. But, it is, your communication skills are limiting your income.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just communicating, it's communicating in the right way, at the right time, at the right moment, with the right words. And so I've said this multiple times to people that I've watched over the years, 2 people pretty much say the same thing. One always walks away with the listing and the other one always loses. Well, why is that? Well, I'm going to tell you, I believe it's your communication skills. And if you don't work to improve your communication skills and then put it into practice by what Paul is saying, is that you have to talk to more people. And what's amazing right now is we have so many people in real estate that either don't like people, don't want to be the first one to reach out, and have hundreds of excuses as to why they're not going to call these 5 or 10 people today.
So let's take
up with 5 to 10 reasons to get on the phone or the email or the text or social media, but you have to do it.
Yep. And I think the mistake here is that when you think about your past client, you think of it as a 1-for-1 relationship, one past client. But the truth and the reality here that every one of us needs to know is that past client actually represents 4 referrals per year for the next 7 years. So one past client that you lose touch of is worth much more than that singular transaction. That is probably 4 to 8 transactions potentially if you treated it properly. And so ultimately what I think where I'm going with this whole thing is like, you got to find a way. And it's funny, guys, whether you're 1 year in, 10 years in, or 30 years in, the response is the same. If we sit down with an agent and I say, hey, why don't you ever reach out to your past clients? Or how have you been talking to past clients? They usually go, yeah, I know I should get better at that. I know I've been talking to somebody to do social media for me. And I've been talking to somebody about a newsletter and I'm trying to get this stuff going. That's typically the conversation we have. And we say, well, what about picking up the phone and just calling them to say hi? And they say, well, I'm kind of embarrassed because I haven't talked to them in a couple of years. And I go, okay, well, what do you think is going to happen if you call them now? They're like, well, I don't know. It's just really embarrassing for me to do that. And I said, okay, so if we go with your route and you're too embarrassed to reach out to your past clients, you can kiss those people goodbye. You're rolling the dice on whether or not they're ever going to work with you again. And what you're really saying is, because you didn't call them in the past 2 years or 3 years, that you no longer deserve them as a client and they deserve a better realtor than you because you failed them. And I'm here to say that you're wrong. That's not what they're thinking. If you call them and you say, hey, Greg, it's Paul Carlson, your realtor. I am so sorry it's been 3 years since I've spoken to you, but I just want to call and say hi and see how you're doing. Their reaction is not going to say to you, wow, I was wondering when you were going to call. It's been 3 years. And they're not going to do this to you. They're going to go, Greg, they're going to go, Paul. Dude, life happens, man. We had a kid. You had a kid. It's been crazy. Thanks for the call. No, we love the house. We put a barn out back. We're loving it. They're going to want to put you at ease. And then you guys can move right into a conversation. But it does not matter. It doesn't matter if you've been in the business for 35 years. The reasons we don't follow up are the same, whether you're 1 year, 5 years, 20 years.
We're going to bring it to a close, Paul, to try to keep.
Let me do one more thing here. Before you bring it to a full-on close, please. We are going to be bringing to help with these things that Greg brought up today, which are investing in you, investing in your skills, your knowledge base, and your communication skills. We are launching boot camps, with the first boot camp coming in April. And then we're going to have a series of boot camps, and we're going to be coming to you. We're going to be in Kalamazoo. We're going to be in Traverse City. We're going to be along the lakeshore. We're going to be in Grand Rapids. We'll be in Lansing. We're going to be all over the place. So we're going to bring the boot camps on the road, and we're going to come to you in April.
And by the way, just because it's in another area doesn't mean you shouldn't go to all the different areas.
Yeah, come to all of them.
Come to all of them.
So you're invited to every single location. So we're going to be bringing, we're developing some really cool boot camps. We're bringing Ninja back within the next 12 months. We are launching our 5-star Con Ed watch parties in the month of March. So we're going to invite, and we're going to be doing in your marketplaces with you in person. So we're going to be doing watch parties if you want to get together and hang out, have some pizza or some breakfast foods. And so we are going to be bringing some good stuff to you guys this year. We're really excited about it. So please dig into those things. And then, Greg, I'll let you close us out.
Hey, you did a great job. I'm going to leave it at that. So, hey, look forward to seeing everybody in the near future.
All right. Thanks, everybody.